Wispies, welcome back to my channel. Today I filmed this look and I used the Kat Von D Shade+Light Eye Palette. I did this because I got quite a few requests asking to do another tutorial with this, and I was like, why not? I use it all the time anyway. And so I challenged myself to kind of use some of the colors that I don't typically gravitate towards. I'm sorry, when I'm filming, apparently I can't talk at all, so I'm sure you guys know that by now, but I typically love to use this side, so I kind of try to stay away from using that so much. And I came up with this. I didn't use an eyeliner, and I used a nude lip to kind of make this a little bit more wearable. And also, I'm going to tell you guys real quickly about this. I got it reworked. I'm obsessed with it. It's beautiful. I know I was going to get some questions about it, so I figured I would just throw it out there. My arm is still a little swollen, like it's filled with, I don't know what your arm gets filled with when you get swollen from tattoos, but whatever it is, it's filled with that. And like when I was doing my makeup, it was like jiggling around and stuff. It was really weird. But anywho, that's that. This is this, and if you'd like to see this look, just keep watching. Starting off with a fresh, moisturized face, I'm going in with Makeup Forever Skin Equalizers. This is the smoothing one. I've been trying this one out instead of my Dior to see if I like it better or the same. So far, I really do like it, and I have a tendency to double dip on my pores. So I put a second layer just to make sure everything is nice and smooth. I'm using my favorite foundation of all time, Dior Star, and a damp beauty blender, and I am buffing this all over my face, ears, and neck. My tan is kind of insane right now. My arms and back are darker than my chest and neck and face, so it's kind of the process of me darkening up my face. I've got to use powder a little bit later, but just bear with me, and I'm only using one layer of this because I like for my skin to shine through. Grabbing Urban Decay's Naked Skin Concealer, I'm using this to highlight, so underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, a little bit on my forehead, Cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin. I have been obsessed with this concealer lately. It's so lightweight, but still really pretty. And then I'm just using my damp beauty blender again to blend all of that in. Make sure that you are really pressing and picking up any extra product so that you don't end up with a cake face. Now I'm grabbing my Kat Von D Shade+Light Contour Palette and Lyric, that yellow shade, on my damp beauty blender and setting all the areas that I highlighted. Don't be afraid to use your damp beauty blender with powders. I promise you it is not going to mess up your powders, and really it just makes them look so much more smooth. Now I'm grabbing my Mineralize Skinfinish from MAC, and as you can see, this kind of helps the foundation to be a little bit more warm to match my skin tone. So if you're ever having issues with your foundation, you don't want to buy a new foundation to match, you can definitely up the powder. So what I was using before was Light Plus, and now I'm using Medium Plus to set the foundation, and that really warms it up and makes it look a little bit less like a catastrophe with my tan. To further warm up my skin, I'm using Shadowplay from the same contour palette and just buffing this into my skin using the MAC 109. Make sure that you're using circular motions so that everything is nice and seamless. Also, I forgot to tell you guys that the brush I was using to apply my powder was the Sephora Pro All Over Powder Brush, the number 61. Obsessed with that brush. To contour, I'm grabbing my NARS Ita brush and Subconscious from the same palette, and I'm carving out my cheekbones, hitting a little bit on the very outer edge of my forehead to make it appear smaller, and then I take my MAC 187 and blend everything out so that we don't have any harsh lines. After that, I totally sneak off to do my brows off camera, but I have a video if you would like to see how I do my brows. Brows are done. Ta-da! So now I'm using MAC's 24-Hour Eye Base to prime my eyes to get ready for the shadow. The first shadow I am using is Ludwin on a MAC 227, and I'm putting that from brow all the way down the lid. So this just is going to make everything blend much easier. And forewarning, I'm not even about to try to name the rest of the names in this palette. It's just not worth it. On a MAC 224, I'm grabbing this neutral brown shade and I'm working this into my crease and slightly above as a transition shade. I'm also bringing this shade kind of into the inner corner where my brow meets the bridge of my nose. I don't know why, I just really like that area, but just blend it all in and we'll be good. Switching brushes on you, I'm using a MAC 221 and I grabbed the darker brown right beside the last color that we used. And I'm using the 221 because it deposits more color and it's smaller, more pointed, so I can really place this in the spots that I want to without it getting out of hand. But I'm packing on this color and then going back in and just kind of depositing as much as I want, but I'm putting this into the crease and kind of making a V shape on the outer edge. Make sure that after using windshield wiper motions that you go back in and use circular motions to make sure that everything is blended out. One of my favorite tricks to clean up the outer edge is to use a MAC powder puff, and it's clean, and just take that from the outer corner and bring it up, and it just cleans everything up without having to use like concealer or anything else like that. Now, for whatever reason, my camera stopped working, but I had taken the same 221 and the darker gray shade, the one I'm picking up right now, and I put that in the crease to help blend out before I did this step, which is taking the 242, the same shade, and buffing it onto my lid. Make sure to leave your inner corner open so that we can add a pretty little highlight shade there. For my lower lash line, I first start off with that original light brown color, and I'm buffing that underneath my eye with a NARS 44 brush. And then I take the gray shade we used and I buff that under, but I only take the gray shade about 2/3 of the way in, whereas the brown shade went from outer to almost the inner corner. After that, I take my 221 and I grab the orangish shade to the far right, and I like to use that to buff out the colors and kind of warm up the under eye just a little bit more. Now finally, for the inner corner highlight, I used Saleos. I don't know what's going on with my camera today. I'm pretty sure it hates me, but yeah, I did that with a MAC 221 and just went back and forth to make sure that they were even, and I really like the way this looks. Now I'm applying my mascara. I ran out of my other one, so this is the Sumptuous Extreme from Estee Lauder. And then I'm going to run away from you guys and put on my false lashes off camera. Sorry, guys. Lashes are on, so now I'm going in with my lip, and I'm using Yash by MAC. I find that if I do my eyes and sometimes my lipstick first, then I'm more able to figure out what I want to do with my blush. I decided on using Luminous Light by Hourglass as my highlight. Nothing out of the ordinary there. And I'm using my MAC 137 brush. And then I opted to use MAC Peaches blush because it's actually one of my favorites, and I thought it would kind of add a little bit of warmth for the springtime, and it looks really pretty with this look if you ask me. And again, as always, blend out the edges. You got it, honey. So this is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to give you a few options just in case you either want to make this look a little bit more dramatic or a little less dramatic. So in case you want to make it a little bit more dramatic, say like for nighttime, you're going to a club, you know, I don't know what you young people do anymore, but in case you want to make it more dramatic, you could definitely add like eyeliner, maybe a wing with just this look, or switch out the dark gray shadow we used on the lid and go for the black one. That way you've got like a true classic black smoky eye and it'll look good. If you want to make this a little bit more toned down for the daytime, switch this color out for the lighter color and maybe even use the 224 when doing all of your blending instead of the 221. because the 221 adds more color than the 224. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really like the way this look came out. And if you did, please like, comment, subscribe, do it all. I appreciate you guys. I really, really do. Like, you guys don't even know. But please come back. Have a good one. Bye.